Okay, so another issue that has come before the courts is the question of burning the American flag. Question is it legal to burn the American flag? Can you do that to protest against the government? And the answer to that question is yes. There was actually a federal law proposed banning the destruction of the flag. Actually, it was passed too, but the Supreme Court said that the law suppressed expression. In other words, if somebody were to burn the American flag, they are expressing their dissatisfaction with their country. They are expressing their freedom of speech or they're vocalizing a strong opinion. And the Supreme Court said that would violate somebody's First Amendment rights if you were to ban that. So technically, in protest, you can burn the American flag. This one's kind of a little bit different. Does the Ku Klux Klan have the right to burn crosses? The Supreme Court kind of came down a little bit differently on this one. The court said, no, you cannot. The court says that if the intent of the Ku Klux Klan intends cross burning as a threat of violence, they cannot do it. So the intention, and I think it is the intention of the Ku Klux Klan to try to threaten people by burning crosses. Obviously, they are a hate group that invokes violence, that could cause a violent situation. They cannot do that. So the court has said no, that cross burning by the Ku Klux Klan is not permitted under the First Amendment. According to the court, that would constitute speech that would incite imminent lawless action or also invoke a clear and present danger. So the answer is no to that one. Other issues that have come before the court. Can you yell bomb on an airplane if there is no bomb? The answer to that question is no, you can't. It says if speech incites imminent lawless action or a clear and present danger, then it is not protected by the First Amendment. The other classic example here is if you yell fire in a movie theater where there is no fire, that could obviously cause a dangerous situation. And that is not permitted by, or that is not covered by the First Amendment. The court says that there is a limit there. So you cannot do that. Another issue, do students have the right to freedom of speech in schools? The answer to that question, a lot of people think that you should have the right to freedom of speech in schools. And this came up in a Supreme Court case called Bethel versus Frazier, in which a kid was making a speech that had all kinds of sexual innuendos in it. The school tried to punish him. He sued the school. The case went all the way to the Supreme Court. He claimed that he should have free speech rights in school to make that speech, but the court disagreed. The court said no. The court said if speech by students is interfering with the learning environment, it is not protected by the First Amendment. And this is sort of, the schools make the rules on this. If they deem your speech being disruptive to the learning environment, which they can punish you for that. So in this school, I mean, you get punished for saying the F word or cussing at a teacher, or, I mean, you do not get freedom of speech rights in schools. The next one, can you cuss at a police officer? This is a very interesting one. The correct answer to this one, according to the Supreme Court, you cannot. Fighting words are not protected under the First Amendment. If you are cussing out a police officer, that is deemed as fighting words. And again, that is speech for the Supreme Court that creates disturbance and incites violence, creating possibly leading to imminent lawless action. And imminent lawless action leads to a clear and present danger. So the answer to that is no. You cannot cuss out a police officer. That can be unlawful. This one involving protest and assembly. Assembly is kind of related or basically the same thing as your right to protest. Can you gather in a group? Can you protest something with a large group of people? Question here is, can you block a city street to conduct a protest on the minimum wage? The answer to that question is no. The court essentially says that you must have a government-issued permit to conduct protests. So if you're just out there blocking traffic on 10th Street, protesting your minimum wage, that is an unlawful protest. Obviously, that interferes with all kinds of things. And then freedom of the press, this question is publishing lies about someone protected by the First Amendment. So can you just make stuff up and publish them online, or publish them in a publication or a newspaper or a magazine or something like that? The answer to that question, of course, is no. You cannot do that technically. Does that happen all the time? Of course. But publishing lies about someone is considered what they call libel. Libel is publishing lies about someone else, and that is not protected by the First Amendment. Like I said, this happens all the time. However, some people choose not to sue over this. You can file a lawsuit if someone is publishing lies against you, or about you, I should say. It can go to court, and if it's proven that it is a lie about you that has been published, then you'll win. So that's a little bit about the freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, the right to petition, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. I just want to emphasize that there are limits to your freedoms here in America, and it's up to the Supreme Court to interpret the law to determine what your freedoms are. So take away this: 5 freedoms provided by the First Amendment. We got speech, religion, press, assembly, and the right to petition the government. Everybody have a great day.